Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Free Agents podcast. Back for some more pre-agents here today as we are getting into part 2 of our coverage of the Gauntlet 3. 3 episodes worth of the season to talk about today. We're going to get into it all. Episodes 3, 4, and 5. Lots to get into. Of course, I am Matt here with, as always, Brian Scally. Scally, what is up?
Hello. I'm so ready to talk about this. I have my helmet on backwards. I am excited to dive in to the many things that I feel like go on here in these 3 episodes. I thought these were good comic relief.
Yeah, there is a lot of I guess unexpected TV time for certain people. I saw the cast this season and I was like, okay, Coral, Beth, there's like a lot of big names on the vets side, and we're going to spend a good amount of time with the rookies, which I'm not like upset about, but it just hasn't been exactly what I thought we were getting this season. That's not to say that I'm not enjoying it, because trust me, I am. But that's where we're at so far.
Yeah, it definitely is what I thought. It's the kind of thing of where I know, okay, this might be a return for some vets. It might be a final season for some vets. I wasn't really thinking that many of the vets were going to have their make or break season this season. So I did anticipate not it to be this fully like lopsided, but I think that in these like double stuffed episodes, it moves so fast that it's really hard for almost anyone to be a real breakout.
It definitely is. There's so many people out there, and there really is such little time on the season, especially obviously we have to get to all the challenges and whatnot. By the way, challenges that are completely horribly designed.
Some of them.
A lot of them. They are disastrous out there. The production team just said, screw it. Whatever happens, happens. I don't care if you have 100 more players than the other team. You're all going to play and just have fun.
Yep. Yeah, it's very interesting. There's so many calls that I think are very questionable, including, this whole season as a whole was built on like, there's no consequence financially to winning and losing challenges. So go ahead and throw all your challenges and get everyone on your team eliminated. Like, okay, well, now I'm starting to question the structure of this whole thing. Cut to no consequence if anyone sits out on your team. Go ahead and go and play it with less players. Okay, that feels like we could really easily take advantage of that type of thing. So I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some people are asleep at the wheel here.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions and things to get loud about whenever we get there. But yeah, can we actually start with last season of the challenge?
Okay, I'm interested to hear.
So just in the past week, I had seen 2 different Reddit threads that had to do with the Inferno 3. And originally I had them pulled for our discussion on a Patreon episode. But then I said, this makes more sense to kind of keep all together with the rewatch. Both CT and Kenny both have had things come out of things that they said about the Kenny and CT wrestling match, and then CT getting kicked off the show last season. Kenny's post was actually that resurfaced was a blog post of his from the year that it filmed. It wasn't a recent thing. CT's
I don't think he's speaking much about the challenge right now.
Correct. CT was on a recent podcast with Beth and John Brennan, and he had some stuff to say. They asked him about it a little bit. So
I saw that it happened. I could barely understand what he was saying.
100%. He did not sound very coherent, which is usually the case for CT, but especially in this interview. Basically, CT's, which is a little shorter of a summary I have for you, sounds like you heard it though, was that he was talking about how back then some of the women thought that CT was gay because he wasn't hooking up with girls on the show. And his recollection of what happened with him and Davis is that Davis was getting a little handsy with CT by the pool. CT says he remembers, quote, knuckling him on the bone, but not to the extent that obviously then his face swells up like it does. He says then Kenny ran into Davis's room and made it out to, quote, be a hate crime. CT says he wasn't trying to put him out, but Davis was being all handsy.
Yeah, I mean, and you listen to the CT interview, what you mostly hear is
right.
Gay. Like, there's not a lot. I do believe that he does accuse Veronica of being one of the main perpetrators or the originator of this rumor, which is quite interesting because I do believe that people say that Veronica did this to someone else also, and Veronica was very upset with other cast members for outing her in the future. So a little questionable behavior.
Let me just read. I took some small bits and pieces from Kenny's longer blog post about his fight with CT, that it obviously happened prior to the Davis thing. Kenny was saying that just after finding out what teams they were on, it was a typical party night. CT was walking around with his crotch hanging out, looking all creepy and no shirt on, showing off his hard-earned steroid-riddled body, Kenny says.
Whoa.
Out of nowhere, he wanted to tell me how cool he thinks he is and how he wanted to wrestle me. Kenny says, I really think he just wanted to touch me, but I can't blame him for that. I accept his challenge and throw him to the floor. That's where the good fun stopped. His ego got smashed. As I'm getting off of him, he comes from behind me and started to choke me out. CT talks about how big and bad he is. We all would be if we were juicing. We go outside, square up again. I throw him all over the patio, then noticed his nose was bleeding. As CT says, I was taking it too seriously. I only took it too seriously after Scumbag decided to choke me from behind. And then, of course, the rest of the night goes on as it does, and he's gone from the house by the morning.
And we do see CT choke him out from behind, where I think CT was taking it extremely seriously there. So interesting read that he's trying to push it in the other direction. These people are horrible.
And by this season, they're all great. Everyone's friends.
Yeah. I mean, not shocking.
No, of course not. But maybe not all of them are friends. Maybe a little bit of drama with some of the men on the vet team that we'll get to in, one of these episodes. But ready to get into them? Episode 3?
I think I could jump into episode 3.
So Brooke and Evelyn, were we shipping? Were we standing?
I I was entertained.
Well, if you were shipping or standing, I have bad news that this couple is not going to be endgame. While Evelyn is still very much falling hard, she is feeling this relationship or this, flirtmans, whatever you want to call it, a lot. The first thing that we hear Brooke say to Evelyn in this episode is that Evelyn would be perfect if she had a dick.
Yeah. And then she's like, I'm just kidding. I don't mean it. Like, just joking. But also she's like, I'm not going to give Evelyn unrealistic expectations I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't mean it. You're perfect.
Yeah. Brooke, obviously, or as we know, spoilers incoming, is going to be eliminated here in this episode. So we're getting our final goodbyes of Brooke, and Evelyn does seem to feel like there could be, like, I'm getting the sense she really is hoping there could be some kind of future here.
I mean, I do think Brooke leaves saying, I love you. So
kisses her goodbye.
I don't know that this was not giving her false hope, to be fair to Evelyn.
On Brooke's way out, she says she's going to take her experience with Evelyn and know that she's capable of finding that with a man.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Brooke is a very iconic MTV cast member. I didn't say it was for great reasons all the time.
Right. More on Brooke to come. Not a lot happening with the vets. Honestly, for these 2 episodes, we do check in with them from time to time. And I feel like we were saying the same in episodes 1 and 2. It was like the end of the episode, check in with Katie and Robin. But there's a little bit of a discussion with Coral and Robin, just, who's going to go in against who. We haven't really gotten this team's ideas on how to approach eliminations because they haven't gone in yet.
They haven't had to worry about it. I mean, we did have Evan allegedly, people have not had to really talk about it so much. There is discussion of where the other team, would you want to pick your opponent? And so that has been assumed that it may carry over here. I think you have particularly Coral and Beth being like, yeah, I want to pick, I want to go against who I want to go against, and everyone should respect that.
Right. So we'll see just how much they respect that as we get closer and closer to some of their eliminations popping up. But let's get to our first challenge of these episodes, Ring Out, which I got to say, for most of these challenges across these episodes, besides the complaints from earlier, like a lot of them seem unfair, uneven. I don't know. It's just like it's giving field day games, and not really any of them are all that captivating to me.
Yeah, I think it's like also very difficult to follow. There's just so many people running around aimlessly, where you have the mission is there's a bunch of clothes hanging on a clothesline. You have runners who are going to put on those clothes, and they're like linen. They're not holding any water. You have to run using the various items of clothing, jump into the ocean, run back, hand your wet clothes to the pullers who pull a clothesline back and forth to get the clothes to the ringers, and then the ringers take those wet clothes and wring them out over a tub to collect water. It's fine. There's some arguments on who does what job, but it's otherwise not that entertaining.
Yeah, the advantage that the vets have here, we'll talk about some of the advantages along the way, is that they have more people on the team, so they have more hands to wring out the wet clothing, which is a pretty big advantage, all things considered.
It's not small.
Well,
yeah. And especially you have more people running back and forth. It's a whole thing. Like the thing is, I think if you give them equal amounts of items of clothing, it isn't like so bad, but it's not perfect.
I don't want to let Mel down and not talk about the items that they can win, all of the the prizes and whatnot. But they are reusing the same prize over and over and over again. It's a Fuji film camera here. It's a an MP3 player there that you can stream videos and whatnot on, and you can control your computer from your TV or something backwards. Like
the sling box.
Yeah. that's all the prizes. They just keep reusing the same ones.
The only reason I know what a sling box is because I always heard Rob talk about it on our HAP. He's like, I have my sling box at my mom's house. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but sure.
But it's just like every other challenge is like the exact same prize. And I don't know, they just had some sponsors and they used up all their products. But like you said, there was some debate here about who should do what role, specifically when it comes to Brooke. Again, her elimination episode here. She knows that she can't be protected this time around because she was just protected last round of a women's elimination day. So she wants to instead show what she can do. And she would like to have one of the roles that you're running into the water to collect the water and then run back. But the rest of the women on the team are basically laughing in her face, especially Johanna, who think that the idea of Brooke being in such a crucial running spot is laughable.
Yeah, when part of me is like, if you guys are underestimating like forearm strength needed for the ringers, like this is not a super easy position. I think that there is an interesting arc for Johanna here where on last season it was like Wes cares about this so much, I'm just here, if I go home whatever, and now she's like kind of one of the leaders ish of the team.
Yeah. She's giving vet energy. We talked about her a little bit, right? In the like who doesn't feel like they belong on the rookies team. She only has one season, but she's been in the game longer than some of them.
Under her.
Yeah, that's a lot. she had drama on her season. Like she was memorable.
Wild. Yeah, I would say so. It's so funny that she has 3 episodes, and yet we're like, oh my god, Johanna, the figurehead. At the same time, the captain of this team is Derek, who's never been on the challenge before. So what are you gonna do?
The vets end up winning this one again, obviously. I do have to ask, did you notice one of the embraces that happened towards the vet on the vet side of things when they were celebrating, particularly Evan and Johnny Bananas?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, you or anybody else will have to go back and look. Jonathan didn't notice either. I asked him. He's been rewatching along with us, and there was a moment where Evan and Bananas are embracing because they're obviously celebrating they just won. And the way that Evan leans into Bananas, he connects with him like bulge to bulge first, and then brings his whole body. And by the way, like Evan's in just his like bathing suit, very small, like Speedo, and Bananas is in like bathing suit shorts, and that's it. And he just like connects with him like bulge to bulge first, and then like the rest of their bodies like connect, and they like hold in like a very tight embrace that like was giving far from like bro hug. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I didn't know what to make.
Never bulge to bulge with your bros.
I guess I don't know. It caught my attention.
All right, I'm gonna go look at this right now because this is hard-hitting journalism.
I think you should. I think anybody else out there, pause us, come back to it. It was just, it felt very intentional, and I was like, are we just being silly boys out there? I don't know. Anyway,
they are often silly boys, to be fair.
Yeah, when they're not being problematic boys.
They are very bulge to bulge,
right?
That was interesting. Those bodies come together.
Surprised you, John. Nobody noticed. It's just me.
Look, there's lots of stuff going on. I didn't think that the celebrations were gonna have so much bulge action.
It was, which is funny that they celebrate like this because Evan was annoyed at Bananas in this challenge for not moving fast enough, but more on that to come later.
And they're not even hugging. It's just one of them's grabbing the other one's head, and then they just push their bodies together.
It was very intimate, and I don't even mean like as a joke. It was very intimate.
Look, lots of people would be thrilled to be in the position.
Anyway,
there are
obviously
lots.
the rookies are pissed off. Tyree is like kicking a pole, ripping his shirt off that they lost again. If only they were aware that they have a lot more losses coming in front of them for these daily challenges. The vets are going to go deliberate and decide who to protect. Ultimately, they will be protecting this time Tori and putting Jillian into elimination.
Yeah, and this is a big discussion of like, what do we do? Since they can't save Brooke, they want to save Tori so that next time they basically have the pick of the litter. Tori's not someone that they would normally protect, but they don't want Tori in there against Brooke. They think she's going to beat her really easily. And since they can't protect Brooke, they need to give her an opponent that they think she could stand a chance against. And the best way to do that is to give Brooke someone who's a lot smaller than her. And that's why Jillian's going back in.
And it's not going to be quietly throughout these couple of episodes anytime that Jill's name comes up, which is going to be quite often, but we'll talk about that. Also, just a quick note for Tori is, she gets protected here, and maybe it's not like the most important protection, but we do hear a couple of times throughout the season about Brad and Tori and the protecting that they're doing for one another on each other's teams.
A little bit. Yeah. Maybe one or the other gets activated when someone's name comes up.
Yeah, maybe. So Jillian's going into the Gauntlet, and she is going to want Brooke as her opponent. Everybody knows that. There's no debate from the rookies when they're deciding on who's going to go against Jillian. Brooke is pretty upset, though. She's, I'm doing my best out here. She says, I was born fearful, but I am trying to do my best. The team just obviously has no faith in her.
Being born fearful is such a curse.
Relatable.
Yeah, the way that she says, like, you know what, I want to be here. I want to do the best for my team. So she's gonna try when she comes back. She does really want to be here, but a lot of people are very nervous for Jillian. The size estimates on these two are way off in my book.
Yeah.
Nehemiah says that Brooke has 70 pounds on Jillian. I don't think that's true. That's
not true. That's not even a little bit true. I mean, that's what they talk about with Beth too. And Beth is definitely bigger than some of the other women just in size. But they always talk about her like she has got like 3,000 pounds on them.
I don't feel like I don't think that Brooke weighs more than 120 pounds. Like the estimates are crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look, Jillian might be 100 pounds, so they're certainly exaggerating.
Jillian has to be 50 pounds. That is a toddler.
Alarming. The Gauntlet, as we get closer to it here, 2 spin again spots now.
I'm so annoyed. Like, what is this?
They definitely took the first elimination off the board. I forget what it was called, but the one with having to pull each other back to the wall.
I didn't clock.
Yeah, no, they definitely took that off. I'm pretty sure they took that off. We don't see it at all in this section. What's it called? It's called Force Field. And I'm looking again at the rest of the season.
No, we could never see it again.
No, we never see it again after Frank and Tyler. So I'm going to guess that something broke on there. And so we don't see it again. But now there's 2 spin again spots. And every episode I wait in anticipation that it will land on spin again. It does not.
I wonder if they just edit that out. It's just so stupid.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they did.
That was actually a question that I was going to have. Is I think that there are these seasons in which there are a limited number of eliminations that you could have, and then there are eliminations like more so modern where you're gonna have a different elimination every time. They might be completely unique to the season. What do you prefer?
A different elimination every time?
I generally would say that, especially when you end up with eliminations that like all kind of suck like these, and ones that a lot of them are kind of testing the same stuff like these. But there are definitely seasons where I think it works really well. I'm thinking of Battle of the Seasons, the new one, where in my mind it is pretty decent. The different like categories, there's one that's endurance, there's one that's strength, there's one that's agility, you know what I mean? And so like I thought that one was very cool, and I liked that aspect of you can kind of strategize around which one you're going to pick. And and I think they were like 4 decent eliminations to my memory, but these ones all suck, so it just makes it even worse.
I'm just realizing for the first time, literally right now, that we're going to talk about 6 eliminations today. All 3 of the women's eliminations were ball brawl, and all 3 of the men's eliminations were sliders.
Yeah, I don't think they were thrilled about that.
I wasn't thrilled about that. But anyway, let's talk about Ball Brawl, which is going to be the first time that we talk about it today. This one is Jillian versus Brooke. A reminder of what it is. Well, actually, no, this is the first time that we're getting it. So, yeah, it is basically there's balls out on the far end of the Gauntlet field. You have to run out and grab a ball. If you get back into the end zone with the ball, you get the amount of points that ball is worth. Each ball is worth a different amount of points.
Yeah, and well, so the first 3 are all worth 1 point. And the last 2 are worth 2 points. It is first to 4 points overall. So regardless, you do have to end up with at least one of those last 2 balls in order to win. It is a decent elimination if it were well matched. But even though Brooke has some size on Jillian, she does start the elimination by putting her helmet on backwards, as I've joked about before. So it kind of gives you the idea of how this is going to go.
A legend, truly. Yes, it gives you a very good idea of how this is going to go. And Brooke, she gets a point. I think literally just 1 point on this elimination. While
that Jillian gave to her.
Yes, that Jillian claims she gave to her. Did you like have any not believing of that? Okay. I don't know. It's obviously easy to say that in hindsight if she just kind of got like a little tripped up. I don't know why you would give your opponent a point, but
because the 1 point doesn't matter. It is just down to those final 2-point balls regardless. If Jillian gets the 3rd point, she still needs one of those balls, so why waste energy?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, if you're doing the math and you're doing this right, then sure, go with that logic.
I trust Jillian on
that. It ends up being a win for Jillian here, who looked not just because Brooke is putting her helmet on backwards. Jillian's just a little bit more of a fighter, wanted this a little bit, more. And we're going to see that in a couple of these eliminations. So, yeah. Brooke is out of here. Frank and Jillian obviously have been getting to know each other a lot this season, and we're going to see a lot of their embraces when the two of them are both in the game and winning eliminations to stay in the game. But for Evelyn and Brooke, it's a different story because they do have to say goodbye here. Brooke is going to be back, though, in 2 more seasons from now.
2 more? Oh, wow.
One more time in 2 seasons.
Whoa, okay. I got confused. Okay, Brooke, not a ton of toddlers hold on to their teddy bears with more energy than Brooke tried to hold Jillian back with. She got a little bit of a grip on her and was like, oh no, she's still running. And I was like, okay, well, this elimination didn't really go anywhere, unfortunately for Brooke, unfortunately for Evelyn. But I think honestly for Evelyn, maybe better to get Brooke out of here.
Probably. Evelyn definitely isn't happy though. When she gets back to the house, she's like pissed off and doing a lot of workouts to like get rid of her anger. To which Evan tells us that they now have the 9th man on their team because Evelyn is so pumped up and angry.
Yeah, which is constantly talked about. It's constantly joked about. Ha ha ha. We have a 9th man on our team. I did find out that Evelyn is squatting over 200 allegedly. So Evelyn's really strong.
200 pounds?
Allegedly. I mean, that's with your legs. Your legs are very strong.
That's not possible. I'm
squatting
looking at
200
Evelyn.
pounds?
Oh, squatting. I thought you said she is 200 pounds.
No. She's squatting 200 pounds. It's definitely possible.
Okay. I missed that part. I was like, we are not looking at the same Evelyn if you think there's a world that she's 200 pounds.
No. No. Okay. She's very tiny.
Understood.
But there's a lot of strength in that very tiny frame. So, she is very, very in shape.
For sure. Let's talk about Zach. Zach.
Rude.
We're gonna have a party night here after this elimination. There's blow up dolls. There's some of the guys are acting like they are security at this crazy fancy nightclub in their backyard. And eventually Zach is going to get entry into this exclusive party. But then he gets tied to a chair and has his head shaved, kind of against his will.
I mean, this is assault. This is what it is.
Yeah.
They literally pick up Zach, carry him away as he's saying, no. They tie him to a chair and they shave his head.
Yep. He couldn't have been clearer that he was asking them not to do this.
Yeah. He does drop, my mom will kill me, which I don't know if that's the coolest line, Zach.
I don't know. If I was being, my head was being shaved against my will, I'm probably not thinking about cool lines, but
Fair.
yeah. Off on another corner of the house, Casey Cooper and Johnny Bananas are doing it. And they get caught. They're running around, both of them butt ass naked around the house. Casey Cooper hops through a window naked.
Oh my god. Yeah, she just basically like gives up at one point and is just standing at the back door fully naked. Bananas lets her in. What a nice guy. God, imagine we had little Banoopers running around.
Excuse me.
Banana Coopers.
No, I heard. I understood.
I don't know. I like the ship name.
I gotta say, I don't love the way that when Bananas is talking about Casey after he was probably just, getting it on with her, his nickname for her is Little Casey. But anyway,
She's a very small girl. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Just a weird nickname.
It's a little
But
weird.
they're having fun. That's what those two were up to. Tyree is not having so much fun because Tyree's got a phone call from back home. His girlfriend, I believe, was having open heart surgery.
Yeah, it seemed pretty extreme. So it's the talk of like, okay, she's gonna have open heart surgery. Well, should I come? Like, I'm gonna come home, but then also, I'm only gonna come home if you tell me that I need to. And
Yeah.
I'm like, if we're not going home at the point where we know she needs to have open heart surgery, at what point do we make that call? So and not judging him for staying whatsoever. I just was curious what like I don't know what's the next point. Like this seems pretty serious. So sad
And
for Tyree.
And we cut from that scene of him telling us about that to Evan saying, the last remaining pathetic rookie player, Tyree, has some sort of family issue and wants to go home. Every confessional from Evan throughout these couple of episodes and the season so far has been him being the biggest dick. And
Yeah,
surprisingly, this is just one of those that's not about him being a dick to the women. Tyree gets, a shot here.
Yep, Evan's the worst. I've never liked Evan. We do have CT in the pool, who even couches it with like, it's very sad what's happening to Tyree. But the best thing that could happen to that other team is if Tyree goes home. He is an anchor. He is not a good competitor. And they are all worried about how to get rid of him because so many of these eliminations really favor someone like Tyree. So how are we going to confidently send any of our good players in against Tyree when he's probably just going to stay anyway and he's going to ruin it for us at the end?
Right. Well, they'll find out very soon how they can handle this.
We can just say, Tyree ends up going home.
Yeah. It's at the end of this episode, right? I think so. Yep. Yeah, pretty quickly. We're going to wrap up the episode. There is still a men's elimination, which obviously we'll talk about in a second. But the episode does end here with Tyree telling everybody that he has to leave. And it was like a weird goodbye. People were like a little mad at him. It seemed like.
Yeah, you do have was it Jillian or Tori who was like, you're not gonna say goodbye to our team? Let him go home.
I mean, he's leaving for his girlfriend having open heart surgery. He's not leaving because he doesn't feel well. Like it was so weird. Now, do you think Tyree would have left if he knew what his remaining challenge career was going to look like? And he could have had the opportunity to maybe go deeper into the season?
Honestly, yeah, that's a good question. Is Tyree still with his girlfriend? Not that it should really have influenced too hard. But yeah, there's a weird comment here also.
From Tyree or two?
From Evan.
Saying,
what does Evan mean by Nehemiah's going to have to fend for himself now?
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I think that Tyree and Nehemiah were like, whenever Tyree was talking about, I'm going to have to go home. I'm saying goodbye. He was always talking to Nehemiah. Maybe they were just close friends at the house. It felt odd.
Yeah, I mean, there is one scene of like in deliberation of like it seemed like the two of them were on the same page, so I guess you can like infer that they were close out there, but also we don't have that information from just watching the episode. So okay, interesting. Tyree will be back.
It was fun. It was like a little funny to have the juxtaposition of Tyree being like, I have to go home, even though I know it's going to hurt the team. Losing me is like the worst thing that could happen for them. Everyone's like, woo!
Yeah, the entire rookies, the vets team are almost disappointed that Tyree's leaving.
Yeah, I think it's only Zach who's like, this is really going to hurt our team. We're losing another guy. I
Yeah.
don't think we got anyone else complaining.
No. Tyree will be back next season before he takes a 4-season break. So we'll catch
Damn,
up with him next season and see where we leave him for a couple
we
of
will say.
seasons. Blind Man's Maze is the next challenge straight out of Survivor.
Seeing this all the time on Survivor. You got one caller in the middle for each team. They are going to lead their team one member at a time through a maze to the center and back to tag out on their next team member. Problem for the vets being they have 4 more players than the rookies. So they got to do this 4 more times.
So fucking stupid. What do you mean? Like, imagine this happened on Survivor. Like, Survivor from day one was like, you sit out a player on your tribe if you have too many players than the other team, or more players than the other team. Here, there's like, what, 3 more players or something like that on one team than the other, and everybody still has to run, and it's still the same rules. Whoever gets all their teammates out first win. So stupid.
We got 4 more players on one team. It's tough. I think part of me is like, okay, some challenges benefit having more players, some challenges benefit having less players, and that should even out in itself where, like, honestly, at least the rookies, spoiler alert, are going to win something here for the first time. It's just the problem is I think too many of the challenges benefit having more players.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Coral and Johanna are going to be the yellers for their respective teams, which doesn't come as a surprise if you've seen either of them on the challenge up until this point. Some loud voices that are going to be very helpful in a time like this. But yes, like you mentioned, the rookies do end up winning. Evan in particular was pissed. He didn't even get to go out there. So we'll see how he's going to take out that anger very soon. The rookies in their deliberation are going to end up protecting Adam and sending in the aforementioned Evan.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say during the challenge, you did have everyone banging into a lot of poles, not in the way of Bananas and Evan, apparently, but in their own way. You do have Katie going very slow. And Danny has a line about Beth where he says, Beth's going to be blind in 20 years. She may as well get used to it.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
The second you started talking about the challenge again, I was like, where did I put that line? Because that was crazy. I don't know where it went, but that was crazy.
Yeah. Like, first of all, that would be 20 years away. Second of all, we've seen Beth 20 years later. She's doing okay.
That was so crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, what'd you think of this deliberation again with Evan ultimately being the one to go in?
I thought it was interesting. I think that we saw the rookies also have a little bit of strategy where they want to make sure no matter what, they can't lose Eric. And so even though they want to put CT in, they think CT is potentially the best chance that the vets would have of getting rid of Eric in a lot of these, very physical eliminations. So they don't feel comfortable risking it, where they think if they put in Brad or Evan, who are some pretty strong guys on that team, Brad being the heart of the team, according to Tyree and others, that maybe this would be the better move because they won't put them up against Eric because they would just be absolutely crushed in an elimination there. Tori not feeling Brad going in.
No, very much not. And there's going to be some chaos from the rookies here. A little bit of argument going back and forth. This is where, again, Nehemiah and Tyree seem to be on the same page, and just a lot of people with some heavy disagreements about what they're ultimately going to land on. They do land on Evan, as mentioned, but yeah, just a lot of talk between Brad, CT, or Evan, which one of them should have been the one to go in. And look, let me just say, by the way, I always talk about how some things I do and some things I don't remember from these challenge seasons. Something that's going to happen in the final of this season, impossible to forget about. And it does, there are, I would say, a lot of clues along the way of this season of the way that they talk about a certain person, and then ultimately that person's.
I think we could talk about it.
Okay, fine.
I think everyone remembers this. And if you don't, it's too big. The end of this season, we are going to see Big Easy go down. And Big Easy, though he has claimed, even in this batch of episodes, you won't have to carry me. I don't go down. I stay on my feet. Oh, wow. The rookies would be so unfortunate if they had to drag Tyree through the final. It would not be good to have a big guy in the final. There's so many conversations about it leading up to this.
Right. So, yeah, when they're talking about the idea of, wanting to keep Big Easy around for the final, you're paying a lot more attention when you know how it's going to play out. So
Hmm.
that's been my journey for so far this season. Anyway, Evan is going into elimination, and things are going to get crazy over on the Vets team as they have their deliberation of who Evan's going to face off against, because color me surprised when I found out that Evan wanted to face Johnny Bananas.
I mean, CT was walking over to this tent saying to Evan, Johnny Bananas, he's got no ankles. You got to put him in. His legs are going to break the moment you put any pressure on him. He'd be the easiest for you to beat. And so Evan apparently doesn't say Bananas' name, but a little head nod in the direction. So he can claim later to Bananas that I never said your name. I don't know what you're talking about. But no, Bananas is viewed as the weakest link on the team, being that Eric, too strong in eliminations. Adam got protection, who are people that you might otherwise think they're going to put in. Bananas has risen to the top.
It's so crazy. Just like to be in this time again, where, just like in the first season, it's just like everyone views him as like this weak guy. And, it's a different time. He hasn't won 7 challenges yet. He hasn't been a mainstay on the show for years, branding himself as I am the challenge. Like that's going to come later. But even just like knowing like the Evan, Kenny, Bananas friendship that forms over the years, we're not there yet. Like we're in the early days of them together on the show. Evan did, Bananas' first season, but Bananas was out within a day. So it's not like the friendship formed there, and then they haven't been back in the same season until now. So again, they got some time and seasons ahead where that friendship is going to solidify and become what it unfortunately still is today. But for now, yeah, he's picking Bananas as his opponent.
Yeah, I do think that it started to form where you do have Evan saying like it doesn't feel good to pick a good friend. So I think that he does have some guilt about it, but his other options are like Kenny, who's literally his best friend, CT, you're not doing that. Like Brad, I don't think that's a great matchup either. And then Danny, maybe we should revisit that one. But
Danny
I
seems
think
in good with these vets.
they really like Danny, I feel like.
He's got a connection with them. I don't know what it is, but they just especially like Danny with CT and Brad, like that's like been working out for those guys.
I am kind of curious in my like mental tracking right now if this is Danny's best season ever, because I feel like Danny usually gets a lot of worst challenger ever. It's him and Tyree, a lot of debate of like who's the worst. And I think entering this season into the conversation is hard to say that Danny is doing terribly.
Yeah, I don't feel like I remember that same perception of him. I obviously trust your read on the perception of like that being the case, and I've heard discussion of that, but just like especially watching this season, I'm like waiting for it. Like, where's the worst? Like he was, goes out early in his first season and goes out somewhat early in his second season, but not like that early. And here I'm just like, I don't know, he's looking good so far, but we'll see.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Well, Casey wants Bananas to come back to the house so that they can go home and make out. But that's not going to happen. I'm so sorry to Casey Cooper, because they're going to play sliders, this giant sliding puzzle of the team flags. Whoever solves the puzzle first wins. Very simple task. And we're going to see this happen in all 3 versions of sliders in these couple of episodes. We're choked up on like one piece. We can't get it. What's going to happen? And then, we get our winner this time with it being Evan. Evan says that his entire team helped him out a lot, which is, obviously always helpful. Looking all the way back to the early days of the challenge where people are already helping people with eliminations, and it's obviously allowed. So not sure why that would change ever today, but, more discussion about it today than maybe back then. And yeah, Bananas is gone until next season.
Slide puzzles are usually like the thing after you do the exciting part of the elimination.
Yeah.
They're not super interesting to watch, even though like they can be really hard. And if you don't know how to do a slide puzzle, you could be there for literally ever. But like someone on the team is going to know how to do it, so they're just going to walk you through it, whoever they want to stay. Evan does win pretty quickly, and so good for him. Bananas goes home. We did skip over the Bananas and CT fighting that happens quite a bit after the deliberation. These two do not like each other, and it's been very fun to see early Bananas CT rivalry.
No, 100%. I was not surprised to see it because anytime that you show me a clip of Bananas and CT, going at it on the challenge, it just feels like what I would expect. But yeah, I mean, this is a very early instance of it. Probably the biggest and earliest fight that they have on the show, right? I think by far.
I there is a lot of like Bananas in confessional talking about CT. He's a scumbag. You should never trust him. That goes down on like I think even in the first episode of the duel, definitely when CT punches someone and goes home, like it's talked about, but I don't know if it's been as open before. I did enjoy this. I'm not gonna lie, where you have Bananas complaining about how it should be Eric, and CT's like, look, we're not willing to risk Evan, and we're willing to send you home. Like that's all that there is to this.
CT is the top dog, and honestly, it's probably pretty clear to all of them that Bananas is gearing up to want to be that top dog, even though he's viewed as a little bit of a weaker player. And CT's not going to let him come for it.
No.
So,
I don't think CT will let anyone come for it.
no.
It depends on like who does he respect, and I think he like kind of respects Evan enough where he'll share it a little bit. But I think if Evan like truly pushed him in a way, CT would bite back hard.
Yeah. Anything else on a quiet exit here for not a quiet exit, but a quiet season overall, all things considered for Johnny Bananas?
I mean, I think it was interesting where he's like, my only reservation going home is Casey. Like Johnny Bananas, who is like a notorious bachelor, cheating on everybody, allegedly, is like so concerned about leaving little Casey Cooper behind. What?
So glad I don't give a shit about this couple. Moving on.
There are like two doors. There are like Bananas walks through one and becomes who he is today, and the other is like Johnny Bananas and Casey Cooper exit the challenge,
and they start their Brad and Tori journey right alongside Brad and Tori.
Oh, it would have been so cute.
No. Episode 4, we're gonna
Casey
check
got
in
lucky.
on what'd you say?
Casey got lucky.
Yes. We're gonna check in on some of the women on the rookies team, just talking about who they would call out if they got called in, who they would want to face off against. Janelle says she would face off against Jillian or Rachel. Johanna would never say Melinda or Rachel because she thinks that they're strong and will help in the end. Is it that, or is it what Frank is talking about? Seems like there is some discussion of the power of the Real World Austin group out here, where that did not help them at all back in their first challenge. They were just taken out basically one by one, except for Wes. But here they got some numbers.
Yeah, in the first challenge, like it could have helped them if they weren't targeted immediately. And the way that they're not being targeted immediately now, it was a big problem on that first season that there were so many of them. You bring 4 people from the latest season, it's going to draw a lot of attention. And even though there's also like a lot of Key West members here, there's some Denver members, it's like we cannot overlook 5 5 Austin members. They're from probably the most popular Real World season of all time. All eyes are on them. It's very hard to ignore.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Frank, it's been putting his and Jillian's game in danger. They obviously have both been into an elimination by now. Jillian has been into 2, and there's going to be some more coming for both of them. So he is kind of just hoping that there's anything he can do about that. He's confiding in Adam a little bit about it, but I don't know that Adam's ultimately on his side. He's talking about how because Adam is on the Vets team, obviously, but he's saying that I guess from the Vets perspective that Jillian is too good of a competitor to not continue trying to get rid of her.
Yeah, Frank and Adam are from around the same era of the Real World, with Paris and Vegas. I believe they're back to back. I would have to double check that. Where you'd think like there's some type of kinship there. They were both on Battle of the Sexes 2 or so. So like I'm sure there's some relationship, and I think Frank has even said like, I talked to you, I talked to Katie, I talked to Robin. I don't know if these are the shot callers that he was previously saying that he was going to be talking to, but it's who he's managed to. And I think he's confiding too much in Adam, who is very willing to throw him under the bus in deliberations.
Very much so. Tyree is obviously gone now, but we have a replacement for him here, and that's going to be MJ. MJ Garrett.
Quite the upgrade.
Very much so, and that's the only thing that people can talk about of like, you guys got rid of Tyree and got MJ. Like, that's not fair. But the rookies are pumped.
I do think that this is like maybe evening out the teams a little bit. If MJ was there on that first tug of war, I think it wouldn't have hurt the rookies.
No, certainly not.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. I did also think that the conversation between Evelyn and DM was quite interesting, where they're talking about how there's really no incentive to be winning these challenges. So even some of the vet women are talking about how it might be worth throwing some challenges. DM's starting to think that it wouldn't be so bad if they lost. Honestly, it might be even a good thing, which I'm like, DM, like, how many eliminations till you're really called in very quickly?
yeah. No, but that's truly, every episode we get some kind of discussion about the teams realizing that they would be better off with less people at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And they might not be wrong about that.
It's true.
Would MJ have ever been called back to the challenge if this spot didn't open up for him? It's been how many seasons? Like 3 or 4? I mean, I guess the answer can't be a hard no, but it took being a replacement here to get him back.
I'm going to be honest. I forgot MJ had been on the challenge before.
That's funny. I think Jonathan had the same experience.
Yep.
This is his second season.
And he won his first season.
It was the original Gauntlet, right?
He was on Gauntlet 2, actually.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Not the original, the last one is what I meant. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he never goes into elimination. He's not like a big character. Wow, that's crazy. I was like, oh, look at MJ making his debut off Real World Philadelphia.
No.
Corey, if you don't know MJ, he's from Real World Philadelphia.
MJ's back, and he's here to help the team with Push It. Push It is going to be a challenge where they both have this big car that they have to push. There are 12 planks below the car, and they have to use those to build a road for the car to drive along. So every time that they push the car forward, the people in the back will take the back plank to bring it to the front, and so on and so forth until the car can get across the finish line. Now, Evan,
I have a question.
Is it the same question Evan asks?
Yeah, can we just not do the challenge at all and just push the car straight through the sand?
You know what? Yeah, sure. That's not in the rules.
Oh, sounds good. I'm going to do that, actually.
Evan literally asks, is it okay if the tires touch the sand? Is that allowed? And TJ's like, no, that's not in the rules. You can do whatever you want. So Kenny tells us that the vets have a plan that if they feel like they are going to be falling behind, or they are falling behind at all, they're just going to push the car through the sand. And honestly, at that point, I said, this is a disaster. That's not going to work, because pushing a car in sand, you may as well be pushing it in snow. Like that's not a good idea. I'm stupid. Because despite a very strong MJ pushing the car significantly on the rookies team, and despite the rookies having a really big lead for a lot of this challenge, eventually the vets do have to call an audible and give the car one big push, and then they just run to the finish line and win with the car.
It's so funny. As much as I want the vets have to face elimination more, and want the rookies to get a couple wins, to see them yeah, we're finally gonna win this, and then just all come crashing down to where they lose again and again and again was really funny. Unfortunately,
it was so they were in the lead, and I was I think I might have known that this was going to be a rookie elimination. And I was like, but how could they possibly lose this? And then all of a sudden, from a couple feet behind, the vets just start pushing the car. And it's not that far that they had to push it. So maybe the rookies should have tried this too, but it was so stupid.
It was weird when TJ's like, yeah, you have to push it through an obstacle course. And it's was the only obstacle sand? Because I saw nothing else.
Meanwhile, well, some of the obstacles were actually your team and the planks of wood, because Blanc, Melinda get bumped.
Blanc? What is Blanc?
Bop.
Okay, Blanc. Let's go, Blanc. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Melissa.
Yes.
Melinda. Have you ever heard somebody laugh so much about a concussion? Because now you have. Melinda got a concussion. She got
blonked on the head. Yes.
Blonked in the head with one of the boards. Can you take over?
Okay, so Melinda, she gets blonked on the head, unfortunately, and as one does when you get blonked on the head, you do have to go to the hospital. She wasn't sure, but Danny is really insisting, saying, Melinda, you got blonked, you gotta go. We're going to go ahead and take this trip to the hospital because like, this could be dangerous. You could have a concussion. We don't know. When they
Yeah,
go to the hospital,
that's the reason why. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they get
Not
checked
because
out.
not because if you happen to miss the elimination today, you just can't go home. You can't be picked for the elimination if you're not there. Danny literally says that to her on
Yes.
camera, like as they're at the hospital getting checked out, basically saying that she had to get out of there because otherwise she could have gotten picked today.
It felt like Danny was coaching her to be like, listen, you have a concussion. You have a really bad
Right.
concussion. And so I'm sure that the doctors confirmed this. Melinda, I don't think, uses it to get out of a future
No.
challenge if it was not real. So I do think she actually had a concussion. I do think this is the right thing. I don't think that Melinda should have been in a headbanger following this. I don't think Melinda should have been able to compete in the challenge that they almost let her compete in. So I'm glad that Danny is stepping up here, but it is it looks sketchy from the other team members.
Yeah, I think ultimately his point wasn't just like, oh, you might get thrown in. It was like, oh, they're going to prey on your weakness that you just got blonked, and now you're going to be brought into elimination with because they're going to take advantage of you. So that's a fair point. That would be awful and evil if they were going to do that, but there's a world that they could have if she did stick around. So ultimately, with Melinda off at the hospital and Danny accompanying her, the vets have to discuss what they're going to do today. They are going to be protecting Johanna. They can't do Tori because they saved her last time. And they're going to throw in Janelle, assuming that Jillian will get thrown in against her. Janelle, still perceived as a very strong player. She just won last season. Do I need to remind you that Janelle was here last season and she won?
No, okay, wow, okay, Mr. Blanc. So I did think it was interesting, at least in this deliberation, where they do end up saving Johanna. They had been talking about should they save Rachel. Adam doesn't think they should protect Austin. I'm wondering if Austin has like a low key alliance with some vet team members in the way that you previously had Frank and Jillian trying to make it. Like, were they just too late? Was there already an Austin alliance in here?
I have to assume so. I mean, we're hearing about it now, so yes.
You'd think so. And I wonder if there was, because even it gets flagged up that they do have alliances with other people who maybe they betray later. So I think that the possibility of it extending to the vets team would not be super shocking.
Right. Janelle is going to end up telling her team that she would like Jillian or Rachel. Jillian is smaller and they're still, underestimating her. Rachel getting a couple of confessionals thrown in here. She feels like she could easily be the one that goes into elimination. A big moment, a big heroic moment here for one Frank standing up for his woman. He is telling the team, we are not doing Jillian. So what's the next plan? And they're like, no, we're going to do Jillian. He's like, no, we're not doing that. Rachel hasn't gone in yet. This is unfair. What else is the plan? We're not doing Jillian. And they're like, no, Frank, we're doing Jillian. And so it's going to be Jillian.
Yeah. Even if MJ was like, I just got here, but kind of feels like you guys made an agreement. And now, Frank, you're saying that we shouldn't follow the agreement that everyone has gone to. I did really like the argument in particular where Tori says, like, Jillian got thrown in twice. Jillian got to pick her opponent twice. We're not going to then rob Janelle of that same thing. Like, then we shouldn't have given it to Jillian.
Right.
And that's the calmest that Tori is, because when Frank singles out Rachel for some reason, he's like, it's unfair that Jillian should have to go in when Rachel hasn't even gone in once. It's like, well, actually, none of them have gone in once, so I don't know why you're saying Rachel, but that felt very targeted. To which Tori is like, well, she's fucking going in. Tori is unhinged. I forgot.
Is that okay with you? Yeah, she loses it on Frank here. I mean, look, it's firmly Frank and Jillian versus the rest of the team, and it's like not a new dynamic. We just saw last season be Susie and Kara against their team. Like, it's just been a pretty consistent thing these days. People get pushed to the outs on a team where you're all supposed to be working together, but the pecking order and the way that obviously eliminations are structured make it so that there can be inter-team drama. So that's a good thing the challenge has got going on for itself. And Tori has had enough with Frank, as has many of them.
I
Have.
just think it's interesting because I had remembered that Tori gets on the audience's nerves at points in her challenge career. And I just thought that came later. But to see the, inkling of it here, where, I mean, I don't think Tori's wrong. I do think she's like a little annoying at this point, though.
Kenny feels bad for Jillian, but he says, sucks to be her. Now stop effing Frank.
Okay.
We're going to get ball brawl here between Janelle and Jillian. Same game as last time with Jillian and Brooke, but no different result because Jillian is going to come out on top. Now, obviously, the story of Jillian, it makes, we know what's been happening. She's been going in and proving herself and coming out victorious. But Janelle in this elimination, I have questions about her performance and then her feelings afterwards, where when she loses, she feels like she still kind of beat her.
Yeah, that's questionable because she definitely didn't.
No.
She got 1 point, which TJ robbed her of when he's like, wow, Jillian, 3-0. So impressive. It's like, that's not what happened.
No.
Janelle got a point. But I just think Janelle, it seemed like to me that she tired out here. Running in the sand is not easy. And so Jillian is consistently getting to that ball first, which Janelle should let her be doing, and then just tackle her, take the ball. But she was too tired. She struggled. She really, especially on the last ball, was just like, all right, take it. It's over. I think that Frank saying he thinks Janelle is overrated. He has no issue with losing her, and he doesn't get the hype. I don't think it's like entirely wrong.
I feel like that's fair. I feel like she is strong, and generally a good teammate if she's on your side, but also can be a little bit of a dark cloud. And that's still something that you see today when she's on the show.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that she's like a good team member, but I think it was quite fortuitous where Janelle says this is definitely not the last we will see of her, and she's only coming back stronger. It is the last we see of Janelle until All Stars.
Yes, it is. And another classic, TJ, I'm sure we'll see you in the future. We do not. Well, we do. It's just not until All Stars. All Stars 2, obviously a pretty decent run for her. Some might say that she was screwed out of winning, or she might say that at least.
I'd say it.
You would say it?
Yeah.
All right, so you say it up against somebody else on this cast. MJ's here, but and then All Stars 4, not much to write home about, but we'll get there when we get there.
Extending circumstances, but I think Janelle did come back stronger. She didn't lie. I do think she was stronger in All Stars, at least compared to the rest of the field, than she was here.
I totally forgot about the Ayana of it all. I was thinking, in my head, I kind of remember it as she just got missed home and wanted to leave, but I forgot about all that stuff. Anyway, so yeah,
all of Frank's yelling in the elimination.
Yeah, I was just about to get to MJ calling Frank a freaking nerd for being so loud and rooting for Jillian.
Sometimes calling someone a nerd really hits.
It does. It really does.
The differences between a nerd, a geek, and a dork are very harsh. I think nerd is fair here.
I mean, if I was going to call him one of those, nerd, it wouldn't be dork. Yeah, no, it would be nerd. It's like the most. You know what? It's like the most condescending of them.
Oh, really? I think dork is the worst. I would not want to be called a dork.
I'll push back against that.
Okay. I like nerds have hobbies. And maybe people should have been a little more nerdy like Frank, because I think Frank is very successful now.
Well, successful in life and successful on this challenge. Let me just cut ahead a couple of scenes, and Frank and Jillian are just getting it on in the shower, and all the guys are just looking inward, making it a big deal, but they're all jealous.
Yeah, this was wild. There you have almost every man in the house just walking up to the shower and taking their turn watching them in there naked.
Now, granted, they weren't actively, doing that. They were just making out, but they were both naked in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is true.
And a lot of screaming from all the guys outside. But what else is going on in the house? Danny and Melinda are back from the hospital. Melinda talks about how she did have a concussion, or does have a concussion, was dehydrated. Interesting to bring Frank back into it. Frank thinks that the injury was all a bunch of BS, a whole big spectacle, I guess, to avoid elimination.
Yeah, he's so out on Austin. Get them out of here as soon as possible. He wants them gone. And so he thinks that this is a conspiracy. Obviously, Melinda went there. And I don't know if he like genuinely thinks that or he's just really frustrated with how things are going.
CT and some of the guys are outside.
Oh
CT
boy.
probably a little drunk.
Probably.
Definitely.
CD's had 3 bottles of vodka to the face. He's like, "Oh, MJ, you're gonna have to go against Nehemiah and Frank and Headbangers. What do you think about that?" MJ's like, okay. Like he's like, oh, I'm gonna throw you in against each other. Okay. Like he's not responding at all, and CT wants to rile him up.
Meanwhile, like you can tell that like all of these vet guys are so insecure about the state of their team because they haven't lost anybody and they really want to.
Yep.
Like we get confessionals from both MJ and Frank here being like, they're talking about trimming the fat off of their team, but like we've already done that and then some. Like we feel good about the team that we have left, while clearly CT and the rest of the vets are feeling the pressure that they have to start losing.
And CT yet again is just openly talking about this. Like, girls' days, we're throwing every challenge. We're getting rid of our girls. And guys' day, we're gonna beat your ass and you're going into elimination. Like that's CT just openly in the middle of the house. There's so many people there. Frank like overhears it at multiple times, is just telling his whole team, like, yeah, the vet guys said they're gonna throw all of the women's days.
So stupid.
Yep.
Ready for a man overboard?
Man overboard. There'll be 3 heats per team where the team members have to sit on this long like plank that's suspended by a rope. You have to pull the rope overhead to move the big plank back and forth. At when you hit the end each time, a team member has to jump off and you have to go back and forth 3 times, and then your time locks in. Fastest combined time happens of the 3 heats. Vets have obviously more team members, so they can just have more people on the planks pulling, which will presumably add more weight, but also give them more muscle.
Yeah. And the best part about all of this is we're going to put a girl high above water who has a concussion.
Yeah.
So Melinda
What is it?
luckily realizes that's a bad idea for herself.
Hey, does anyone else think I shouldn't be doing this? I have a concussion. If I hit the water with my head, I'm gonna die. And they're all like, "You're good. Just do it. Just do it."
And she's clearly on one of the end positions. There was 4 people, I think, up on hers. So
Yeah.
like she was clearly slated to jump in the water. It wasn't like
Jumping first.
yeah, like they set it up obviously so that like the who they perceive as like the strongest player on their team, MJ at one point, Derek at one point will be the last one to have to do the pulling if they need to get from one side to the other or then jump in. That's not going to be Melinda, so she's jumping and literally could have died given the state of her concussion.
She's
So
like, guys, there's no penalty if I sit out. Like I would be fine. It wouldn't let me die. And they're like, no, you're good. You might die, but you'll help us. Go ahead.
yep. Meanwhile, in all of this, you have Evan. Again, his confessionals have been completely insane this season. He tells us that he would like to tie some bricks to some of these women so that when they hit the water, we'll never have to deal with them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2000s.
Kenny also echoing the sentiments of, once again, leave it up to the guys. We have to be the ones to pull the team today because, it's a strength based challenge and the guys have to do all the work. Blah, blah, blah. So that is happening there. Casey Cooper has, of course, a big fear of heights over water. We flash back to her rookie season with her and Wes. She does say that she peed herself when she got up there. I don't think she meant literally, or we would have probably.
I think she does mean literally.
You think so?
Yes.
Oh, well, then maybe Casey pees herself up on the log.
Everyone is sitting there pulling, and Casey is hands over her eyes closed, not pulling at all, just waiting until someone pushes her off.
There's also, if you're looking for, I don't know, I guess comedic, if you would call it that, moments in this, Big Easy can't fit in his life jacket. And requires the assistance of like 3 of his team members, like Coral, Kenny, maybe somebody else, to help him close the life jacket before he can even participate in the challenge.
I don't think he actually needed the assistance of 3 people. I think that people just thought it was funny to do it.
Maybe. My question.
Yeah, at one point he's like, "Guys, I'm good. I'm good. Stop. I'm good."
So they're just like joking, but
Yes.
like if he really was struggling, like production, what the hell are you doing? Like,
Well, that too.
Get this man a life jacket that fits him. But whatever they can do to get the fat jokes in on Big Easy. The The rookies end up with a time of 9:44 and the vets a time of 7:45. The vets win again. Shocker,
Yeah,
shocker, shocker.
that heat of it's Katie, Paula, Eric, Adam, and CT that get it done in a minute and 48 seconds. Like, holy crap. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, they just are dominating here. But ready for the deliberation here,
Let's
where
do.
the vets are going to be protecting this time Ryan. Anytime that they can protect Ryan Kehoe from going into elimination, they're going to do it. You know, everyone's perceiving him as a weak player, all things considered. So they're going to protect him here and ultimately throw in Frank.
Yeah, this was people. There was a little bit of an argument where
Yeah.
Kenny's saying he does not think MJ's as good as people thinks. MJ is coming in. Sure, he's big, but is he really strong? They're saying Ryan's been doing pretty good in these challenges. So although we are saving him, there is a world in which like maybe Ryan is someone that we should be willing to lose and anchor them with MJ instead.
You can also just tell, besides all of that, that like both teams are very aware of the interpersonal connections and dynamics on the other team, so they have a pretty good idea of who's going to pick who.
Yeah.
And when they talk about how they think that Frank will likely pick Zach, they're like, well, that's one guaranteed strong guy out of this game. So that also leads into some of these decisions.
True. Where I didn't think that Zach was looked at as that strong. He's really not given almost any screen time on this entire season, which is sad. I don't think that he's honestly maybe the smallest character on his real world season as well. But like at least I feel like I know who he is as a person. Where this season it's like, oh yeah, and Frank's gonna pick Zach. Like who? Oh, the guy that got his head shaved. Got it.
Yes. I mean, I have like the littlest amount of notes that you could ever imagine between now and Zach's elimination. Zach gets picked to go in against Frank because that's who Frank wanted, and the team gives it to him. Frank and Zach face off in sliders, that puzzle elimination again. Frank's wearing glasses, and Zach is gone. That's my notes.
Well, don't worry. TJ is sure this is not the last time we're going to see Zach.
Spoiler alert, it is the last time we will ever see Zach McGann. Is that his last name? Man, something like that. One of those.
It's man.
Where'd I get McGann? I don't know.
We get like a montage of Zach's best moments. I was like, this is like a big send off for Zach.
Yeah. After he had one moment on the show.
I like Zach. Don't get me wrong. Again, I think I like Zach way more than the average person. But like, really?
I combined Zach and Derek's last name, so I gave him I don't know.
Got you.
Like yeah, no, nothing on Zach. I felt nothing when he left at all, unfortunately, and he's out.
I'm just really sad when there's someone that shows up to like the real world, shows up to the challenge either from either Road Rules or the real world, where like I know them and you just like you don't get to see them.
Yeah. Hey, real world, Road Rules, we'll watch them someday. And I'll get to know these people a little bit better. But for now, yeah, goodbye, Zach. That is all we have for you. But just to give Frank the credit now, you know, his second elimination win, he sent home Tyler and now Zach, two different types of elimination. So certainly showing himself to be a threat.
Clearing out the Key West cast members.
Look at him. So of course, Evan and Kenny still want to get rid of all the girls on their team. They need to get rid of Beth and Katie and Robin. Robin's weak.
I mean, Robin, I don't think is like the best runner on the team, and I think that's what they're concerned about. It's funny because I feel like sometimes Robin is looked at as like, oh, this is the strong woman of the season, and sometimes like, get rid of her. Right. They just have better relationships with some of the women. I think if you asked them, like, okay, you can get rid of all of the women on your team that you want, I think they would get rid of everyone but Evelyn.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So no matter what they say, we are throwing the mission tomorrow. And as we open up episode 6, now we have Evan and Kenny with CT and Danny. This group is coming together. The free ride is over, girls. Time to go. Get out of here. We're doing this. The end of the road here for one of you. Meanwhile, cut across to the other side of the house. And the women are aware that there is some sketchiness going on, but they feel like they shouldn't actually have to worry about this because they have threatened the men before to say, if you throw a women's elimination day, then we will throw a men's day.
And they would never be so bold.
No, not at all. But besides that, they're going to actually have some inter-team conflict in the backyard because CT is going to open his big mouth and let the rest of them know where their heads are at with his little trimming the fat speech.
I mean, He's trying, and I think this is him doing his best to hide it. He's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean I've been talking openly in the house about how we need to get rid of all of the women and how we should throw the remaining 4 women's days? What do you mean? That would be so hard. We have the stars and the moon and the sun. We got to get them all aligned. And who even is the fat on our team? I don't know. Do you know who the fat is? Because I don't know who that is." Like, he is playing so dumb where it's just not believable at all.
Pisses off Katie Doyle to the point where whatever Katie said here, I could not even begin to understand it.
Yeah, Katie is straight up like,
"Send me home. And guess what? It's you. You, CT, you're a liar."
"Who even says you're the fat? It pisses me off." She does not like liars, and she thinks that CT is a liar. Beth says that CT is toxic and poisoning the team. CT has such a reputation in these early days that like, I'll never forget it. Like, no matter how much you try to pitch me like, "Oh, dad CT, he's so," like, no, this is CT. He's not changed.
I just am mad, I guess, at the show for not stretching this scene out a little bit more, because Katie's going off for the first time in however many seasons it has been since Katie has gone off on someone, and I can't even understand her. And I feel like I have some context, but I want the whole scene. So I'm annoyed. So but that's what's happening here. The women, just tension in general on that team is really getting to a point that something is going to have to be done about it, or it feels that way, at least for the men, who have a full-on plan to throw today's mission, and that's exactly what they are going to do at Assembly Required.
Assembly Required. Both teams will have to take apart replicas of the El Castillo Pyramid and reassemble them within the designated building zone. If you do win, guys get sling boxes, and the vet men are going to throw this real hard,
real fast, real easy. They make it sound like, and I don't know, like, did you feel like you could tell for sure if the women had any idea that they were throwing it, or if they were aware to the extent of what they were throwing it?
I think that they think it's like a more fun storyline for, like, at this time. I think the producers totally were in on the, like, haha, the guys are getting one over on the women. Like, these women are so stupid. Like, I think that they were not upset about telling that story, where we've seen people like DM talk about, like, honestly, we could get rid of some members of the team and I'm not gonna be that upset. So I think there's a world in which people like DM, Evelyn, really do recognize what's going on, but just don't really care. And then you have people like Beth, Coral, Katie, who it's like, yeah, we always expected this, unfortunately.
And let me just say now, because we're going to, of course, have 2 more rounds in this episode. What's going to happen in the next round is the women don't throw the mission to screw the guys over. They did not make true on their promise to do that.
Well, it was really only Beth that we saw saying that she knows they were throwing or not trying as hard in this mission. The vets had 5 extra team members who you would think should be able to get this work done a lot faster, but the guys somehow successfully tricked at least some people on the team. Danny runs just laps around the pyramid instead of actually doing any work, and it's not caught. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, they were talking about how, we're going to let the guys be all the muscle here and the women are going to be the brains telling us what to do. And then we're just going to, get some pieces jumbled. And then we don't get it successfully done.
I just don't believe that anyone believed Evan's performance. Evan is like, "Brad, what are you doing? Oh my God." Just like such like campy, silly performance, like so clearly overacting because he wanted to be on TV. That, like, I just don't believe that anyone believed it.
You also have the rookies who know that they are winning today's mission. They're all aware of this plan. So as long as they don't mess up majorly, then all they have to do is stay calm and get it done, which they do. So the rookies have to go deliberate on their decision making. Do you have something else?
Yeah, Danny's such a hothead that even after this challenge, Danny's like, "Why was everybody just giving up the challenge?" It's like, Danny, you threw it. You threw the challenge. Why are you yelling?
Yeah, he's insane.
I think he just has to keep consistent. Because, like, if Danny's not yelling after a loss, like, it would be suspicious.
Just one big long con.
Yes.
That's a lot of credit for Danny, but I'll take your word for it. Also, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Somebody misspelled TJ Lavin. Interesting. I don't know. That just popped into my brain right now, or popped into my line of sight. The rookies have to deliberate on what they're going to do here. They're going to protect. Let me just start with saying they're going to protect Casey Cooper. Look at Katie Doyle getting upgraded from the perceived worst weak link on the team. Look at Katie.
Good job, Katie.
So Casey's getting the protection here. But who are they going to put into elimination? Either Evelyn, who is perceived as obviously this strong team member, or Coral, who is also strong, but also considered like the mouthpiece of the team, as they put it. Ultimately, they're going to go with Coral Smith.
By the flip of a coin, it is decided Coral will be going in, and she did not appreciate that. How dare you put a person's like fate in a coin? That doesn't mean any, like that should mean more. So she's very not happy of going in, but even more insulted by how they did it.
We are well over an hour into this podcast, and I don't know if we have said Coral's name yet.
Yeah, this is not Coral's starring season, unfortunately.
It is insane that Coral is here, that, you know, she's to us a Mount Rushmore name, and to everybody, but like for us, in the sake of this project, you know, a Mount Rushmore spot that she has nothing to worry about anyone coming for her for that spot. I feel like we're pretty much in agreement that like she's the least in danger of losing that spot anytime soon, but we can confirm that at the end of the season. But she's invisible. Like, I mean, not invisible. We do have like a couple of scenes that we check in with her, but like, it's just not the typical, ever since the her and CT fight at the beginning of the season, it's been nothing. Luckily for us, there's some Coral story here. Unluckily for her, it's at the expense of her own game. She is insisting to the rest of the team that she does not want to go in against Beth. If any of the eliminations come up that are strength, weight based, Beth has some size on her, not a ton, but I guess enough that she's concerned about it.
She claims it's 50 pounds in 50 years.
Well,
I think that's an exaggeration.
no,
What do you think the age difference is between Coral and Beth?
That's a good question. I would say under 10 years.
It is 10 years.
It's exactly 10 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Very close.
I didn't check by the months, but as it stands, I believe 10 years exactly. So when she's calling Beth grandma, I was like, don't you like come from the same era of the challenge? But like, no, Beth was from a much earlier Real World season than Coral, but I didn't think it was 10 years earlier.
No.
In my brain, at least.
But we're going to see these two face off here after a very interesting deliberation from the vet team, where some people want Coral to get her way and make sure that she comes back, and then others, DM, want Coral out.
Which was so interesting. I was really confused by this, where they're like, okay, we need to give Coral the best chance of coming home. So who can we put in that she has the best chance of beating? And DM says, no, we got to put someone in there that can beat Coral. And I wonder, just was that DM self-protecting, where she thinks that she would potentially be someone that could be thrown in against Coral to keep Coral here? Or is DM like really trying to get rid of Coral?
I think she's trying to get rid of Coral. I really do.
And why?
I mean, I think that what you said could be a factor, but I feel like I think she just might not like Coral.
Interesting.
Just from the way that she said it, like straight up, just the way that she's like, no, Coral can go, or whatever she specifically said. It was giving, I don't want to have her on my team anymore.
I had the same read, not necessarily by like a personality dislike, but I did think she genuinely wanted to get rid of her. So I don't know if people think like Coral's lost it. They're definitely in the discussion of Coral versus Evelyn was Evelyn's the strongest, but Coral's like the heart of the team, or the team leader. She's the mouthpiece. People are all saying. So it's not that people are viewing Coral as like the strongest, even though when this format was announced, she's like, I as the strongest am going to be thrown in every time. I don't know. The perception is changing slightly.
Ultimately, it seems like more people want Beth to go in. I would say mostly it seems like they want to get rid of Beth. Would you agree that they are hoping Coral will be able to take her out?
Yeah, Beth has always claimed that she is a runner, but we saw her in that chariot challenge. Like, she's not as much of a runner as, or did she not end up running? I don't remember. She like has claimed that she's a runner, and then when she doesn't do well, I think she was running. I think Montana ended up sitting out. Like, she doesn't do as well as she claims, and so Beth not really like good at a whole lot. I think Beth would be one of the anchors in a potential final, so I'm not super surprised they actually want to get rid of her.
Yeah, she is, Coral is not very happy when Beth is revealed to be her opponent. She's getting into some of these guys' faces, saying she would have taken anybody else happily. She's pissed at them because they're risking her life because Beth could take her out of the game, and that's not a risk that they should be comfortable taking. I don't know if did Coral say who she wanted? She just said anybody but Beth.
Yeah. She's like, give me someone I can beat. At one point, she does say that she would have taken DM, she would have taken Katie, she would have taken Robin. So those were names on her list, and I wonder if that's why DM was thinking that of like, Coral's gonna request me, and I've heard that, but I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, Coral versus Beth. This is a big showdown here. Two heavy hitters from the challenge, both on our Mount Rushmore. And it's funny because Beth is like, "Oh, I can't wait until Coral finds out that it's me she's going against. She's going to be so pissed." Cut ahead to after Beth is eliminated here. She's like, "Oh, Coral and I are like good. She's going to go
Right?
give him hell for me."
Beth is so fake. And like great TV character, but she's fake as hell.
Truly.
Like just her saying like, and I can't wait to tell her to like you said, the like, I really didn't think that me and Coral would get along, but like we're really good now. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Huh?
not you with the Nehemiah evil laugh imitation.
I love an evil laugh.
Yeah, Coral gets the win here. It was relatively close, unless you're going to tell me maybe that Coral did the same thing of letting Beth get that second ball because it didn't matter. I don't know.
No, I think that was a genuine, she could not get it. It is pretty much every time Coral getting to the ball, Beth just lays on top of her and like really forces Coral to drag her across the finish line, or she gets the ball from Coral. And
Yeah.
so it's hard fought. Like Coral is covered in sand by the end of this.
Yeah, Coral ultimately coming out with the win. The rookies, Melinda speaking for them, are sad to see Beth go because she obviously would have been great to have in the final to help the vets lose. They assume would have happened. Danny, what the fuck, is here in confessional after Coral gets the win, saying, "All right, yeah, whatever. Coral won, but don't get too ahead of yourself. You're not making it to the end with any money."
Yeah, he says he's gonna make sure that happens, and she goes home. That was crazy.
There's, I mean, look, we know that Coral isn't like, the person out there like with the best social game, making the most friends. Like she's just Coral. She's living her life in there. She's going to say whatever to whoever. And like that, I can't be surprised to hear like people talking this way about her, but it's surprising because this is the first we're hearing about it, of just like DM being like, no, like, it's okay if she leaves. Danny being like, she's never making it to the end of this season. I don't know. Comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is definitely odd. I feel like Danny, again, like MTV really wanted him to be the golden boy of MTV. They wanted him to be the standout on the challenge, but like, it's not that nice. It's not that nice.
As far as Beth is concerned, this is it until All Stars.
Crazy. Yeah, we do have shady TJ very much this season, or like maybe too honest TJ, where he's like, Beth, you had a lot more in the tank than I anticipated. At least you tried. At least you tried? What? I would never come back either.
Beth has been known to not try or to.
That's true. She really did give up. Was it last time? 2 times ago? Last Gauntlet, at least.
Yeah. There's ups and downs of Beth and her willingness to compete or how she actually does when she gets in there. But as they bring up, anytime that Beth is the main topic of discussion, it came up at that one reunion. Like Beth is here because she is Beth, because she is always going to bring entertainment to this television show. But I don't know if it's because of Beth or because of the show, but again, this is the end of the line here. All Stars 1 is, I think, the next time that we see her, and then 2, and then 5. And we don't feel like we're in any position right now. I think you would agree to say that we feel like we have seen the last of Beth. So
no. Whether it be on House of Villains or more challenge seasons, who knows? Do you think this is the right time to say goodbye to Beth? Or are you sad?
I don't know. I mean, am I sad? Not like sad, because there are so many compelling characters on this show that can keep the show moving forward and will. I mean, look, we haven't met so many of like, the late era 2 people, beginning of era 3 people that carry the show forward into what it is today. And Beth couldn't be actually out there competing on seasons consistently, all the way. Like it had to stop at some point. And she does come back for All Stars.
No, I'm saying she barely is able to keep up in All Stars.
Oh, I mean, is she? I guess fine enough. Overall, again, it had to end somewhere for like the main version of the show, so I can't be like upset. But it really is interesting to be closing the book on her original run on the show, and we'll be talking about her for a little bit longer, unless she immediately is about to get replaced on the Mount Rushmore. But whenever she does, the reputation or the legacy that she's built up for herself will speak for itself.
I think for Beth, she had a good run on the duel where I think she gets so screwed out of an elimination win there. I think that she really like was still bringing something to the show, but you can tell she's very disconnected from the current class of challenger, where I think we just see a lot more of this type of run out of Beth, where she's not really all that involved. Everyone's like, ugh, Beth, we hate her.
Yeah.
And then she goes home kind of unceremoniously. So I think this is probably the right time. And I don't know 100% if it was Beth's decision or the challenge. I think it might have been Beth's, but I think it's time.
I mean, it is crazy, but unless you're just straight up looking at like age, that Beth gets left behind here. But as you've pointed out a couple times, like the Anissa of it all is going to become a mainstay of the show. Where if you look at their legacies up until this point, you're like, huh? But that's just how the show goes. Anyway, more on Beth to come, just from general discussion. But for now, back at the house, Paula and Derek are still cuddled up, very much a pair here this season. Derek is talking to Ryan Kehoe. It seems like there's a pretty good friendship formed between them. He's just saying that, he hopes he doesn't have to go in against Ryan. He doesn't want to have to face off against him. They seem like they've, just formed a decent friendship. And if he does have to go into elimination, he'll leave it to the team on who he should go against. So he doesn't need the whole, I'll tell you who I want.
I really like Derek, but I wasn't sure if that was like, I didn't remember, was this road rules based? Was it just like me based? Was it show based? I wasn't sure when it would pop up, but I think Derek and Paula are very cute. I think his friendship with Ryan is very cute. I think the fact that he's saying like, I want a fair match, and I feel like Ryan and me would not be like a super even match in most of these eliminations. Maybe it's not smart, but I do like him for it. So I've been enjoying Derek.
I've been like neutral to positive, so
that's good.
Yeah,
honestly,
I mean, there's not a ton.
No, and that's where I'm saying like this is no one shining season, unfortunately. No. So I'm glad we get Derek at least once more, but I was nervous that it would truly be like a literal nothing, like Zach level of content for Derek.
Right. Well, let's get to unfortunately Derek's elimination as we start with the challenge. Walk the plank. They're going to be on a bridge, a plank, I guess you could call it, over the water. The other team that is not walking the plank will be holding 2 big medicine balls each, trying to swing them at the players to knock them off as they walk along. And another challenge here where there is a huge advantage for one team over another, because you only have to get all of your teams across, and one team has a lot less players than the other. Wait, so no, I'm confusing myself. What was the specific advantage? Because the rookies had like a very specific win circumstance here. They had to get all of their players across.
It was the vets have 4 more people on their team. So it wasn't like you have to get a certain percentage of your players. It was you have to get more players across. So the vets have 4 more opportunities to get people across than the rookies do. So the rookies can very quickly end up in a spot where they literally can't lose. They have to knock off 4 more people than the vets do because of their team disadvantage.
Yes. If the vets lose, I'm like trying to make this make sense in my brain. If the vets lost 4 players, then it would be even before they even could get like deeper into the challenge.
Yes.
So stupid, but whatever. Surprise, surprise, this ends up being another vet win. But what highlights were there for you, if any, along the way?
I just thought it was like fun to watch where Adam like runs out and then forgets that the ball is gonna come back at him, and it just hits him in the back unexpectedly, and he's like, oh, falls into the water. Like, it was very funny.
Kenny got DQ'd because he like held on to the rope that the medicine ball was attached to, and he got pissed off saying that it was bogus, that he got eliminated. Shut up.
I feel like it was fair.
It was
Evan
fair.
also falls. So good job on the rookie guys knocking off 3 guys at least.
MJ gets knocked off on the rookie guys run, as does Ryan Kehoe, which is not great for him because he's really fighting against this perception that he's the weakest guy there, and him getting eliminated here doesn't really help that. But that's that. Before the women went, there was a fun scene with Coral and Casey Cooper, because Casey was like freaking out a little bit about tights over water, same thing, she's upset, she's nervous. But I think I realized like halfway through this argument that it wasn't quite an argument and Casey's just silly.
It was her being like, oh my god, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, and they're like, well, if I go too early, they're gonna all have all the medicine balls, so they'll throw all the medicine balls at the end, but like at me. But if I go at the end, then like they're gonna be throwing them really hard, they're gonna be focused on me. So like, I don't know, I just want to go somewhere in the middle. And Coral's like, okay, you can go in the middle. Okay, so we'll have this person go first, then Casey will go second. She's like, second. It's like, okay, Casey, when do you want to go? And she's like, oh, you just want to throw me wherever. It's like, Casey, calm down. Like, no one's fighting with you.
Coral's like, all right, Casey, you can go third. Casey's like, all right, I'll go third.
She's like, where do you want me to go, Coral? It's like, I want you to go third, Casey. All right, well then I'll go third. Like, okay, Casey.
I'm just annoyed they didn't throw it at the end of the day. Like, these guys are trying to get rid of you. Get rid of them. You don't need them all.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
But no, they go on and they get the win here, sending in the rookies again to further whittle down their team. And it's just so crazy to me. Just like, not even because the vet guys got one over on the vet women and made one of them go home, but like everyone is talking about how good it will be to lose players, and they just aren't.
Yeah. It's not the thing is that I do think a lot of the vet guys are very strong. Like, I don't think there's any vet guys that they can safely lose before the end of the challenge, aka I think obviously we know they want to lose Eric, but like I don't think any other guy like needs to go home before then. So losing someone will get you more money at the end, but I do unfortunately think all of these guys can keep up in a final.
I mean, they're all worried about Easy, obviously. And I don't know
who's going against Easy.
I don't know. Make someone see what happens. Like, you can lose one of these guys to give a shot at taking Easy out when all of you have the same concern, and it's going to end up being a real concern.
I agree.
I don't know. The vets are going to deliberate here, obviously, who to save, who to put in. They're going to protect MJ. Some of these protections, or whatever you want to call it, the saving the person doesn't do anything.
No, not so much. Can I just say really quick from the challenge? I thought it was really funny when Katie goes super slow and you end up with Casey right behind her, but then she gets knocked over, and then you have DM runs out and she's like, what are you doing? Go, Katie, go.
She's who was coordinating this team? Who was telling them where to go?
So funny. DM has her arms literally like flailing in the air. I was like, DM, calm down. Like, she looked like a crazy person.
Like, was it ever, I mean, I guess like they had full say of when they went, but like this team, it seemed like the only run where people were going at the same time somebody else was still on the beam.
Yeah, she just freaked out, and I think she like the same thing where people were not expecting someone to go and they had already thrown for Katie, so DM like saw an opening, but the problem was Katie's not moving, so now you're a sitting duck.
Right.
They both made it anyway, but it was concerning, and DM could get a little frantic.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Just a bit. So yeah, MJ is going to get saved by the vets, and the decision comes down to Derek is going to be the one that goes in. Paula was pushing a lot for Derek to not go in because the vets were talking about if Derek goes in, he won't want to go against Ryan in elimination, which is good for us because Ryan is their weakest guy and we want Ryan to stick around. Paula is saying that's not the case because Derek has said that whoever the team wants Derek to go against is fine with him. And so they're still going to put in Ryan, and we're still going to lose Ryan regardless. Again, Paula trying to protect Derek. It doesn't end up working out. Derek is still going to go in.
Yeah, it's hard. I think she had a hard argument to make. I don't think she did a great job at it, but it's like Derek is seen as the leader of their team, potentially the strongest member of their team, and he might not throw in Ryan. Like, that's easy, the best case scenario for them. So I think they got to take the shot. It's not like she presented this other option that was better.
No,
as far as we saw.
She tried. Just didn't work.
I appreciate her.
The rookies are going to deliberate, and it seems again like Derek hasn't given like a firm answer of what he wants. He would rather not Ryan, and it seems like that is known, but ultimately it is going to be Ryan that goes in. They just can't get over the fact that he is still perceived to be weaker.
And there's arguing back and forth here where Tori does say, like, Derek in the past has mentioned Frank's name. So right. Like, oh, Frank and Jillian, let's throw them in again. Frank does fight back here for himself this time, says like, come on. Like, and it's hard because I think Ryan's one of the stronger members of our team, but also everyone's a strong member of our team. And unfortunately, we will benefit the most from losing Ryan at this point. I appreciate that Ryan like got a lot of support as this season went, and people like stopped viewing him as just this weak link. But when you're left with only strong links, then it starts to stand out a little more.
Yeah, and it seemed like there was a friendship for sure between Ryan and Tori. She didn't want to see him go in general. I think she mentioned
Well,
at the beginning of this episode. So
there was apparently also a friendship between Ryan and the Austin girls where he was relying on them to not throw him in. But they do not come through. As soon as they start voting for him, Ryan's like, stop it. I'm going in. I don't want to hear this. It's going to hurt my feelings.
yeah, yeah, that's tough. I mean, it is strange because the Frank and Jillian, being so far on the outs makes you think they're just going to keep going back to the two of them. They've already like burned those bridges. But I guess Frank has been performing well in challenges, and it just feels stupid at this point to try to go after him when they feel like Ryan is not. So
I think it's
yeah,
tough where like you come into one of these strength-based challenges or something, and like Frank just is going to contribute more. They just have so many less team members, so many less guys that it just is really hard. I mean, imagine they have to push the car through the sand again. It's like, well, we're down 5 guys, and now we're gonna lose Frank too. Like that's horrible.
yeah, and it's tough because Ryan gets thrown into this elimination against Derek. It is going to be sliders, and up against Derek, the captain of the team, the strongest guy out there, a big threat. Ryan stands no chance, and Ryan's obviously going to get sent home here and end of his run.
Yeah, well, you might think so, but Ryan and Derek apparently both hate puzzles. You know who doesn't hate puzzles is Evelyn, and you know who Evelyn wants to go home? Derek. So she decides, I'm going to help Ryan on this, and I'm going to coach him through this.
Yeah, Ryan's board, his puzzle board was apparently very close by, like right next to the vets. So they were able to see and help, especially Evelyn, as you just said. And so Ryan gets a little bit of extra support, whereas apparently nobody from from the rookie team can see Derek's board to help him out.
Yeah.
And in a, true David versus Goliath, David gets the win.
I actually think that Derek was closer because we did have Paula helping him as well. But I think that there was maybe a pole in the way of the rookies being able to see Derek's, and that's why they couldn't see because Derek was on the opposite side and there was a pole in the way or something. Because the fact is, Evelyn could see across to Ryan, but the rookies couldn't see across to Derek, or at least that was the excuse they gave. Evelyn and Paula helping each side, maybe a little bit of rivalry starting here. But yeah, unfortunately, Derek panics. Derek does go home.
This is crazy. And I mean, the first thing that I thought was like, first of all, shock, because I did not remember that this happened.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, I love this. Like the fact that we are, only 15 seasons in at this point, but that this is possible, that eliminations exist at this point, that it is possible for Ryan Kehoe to beat this massive man, Derek McRae, this again, captain of this team in elimination, because they incorporate puzzles so much, even this early on, but especially as the years go on, just to make it balanced. So it's not just one skill, that being strength, that means that you can be a challenge champion. You have to have other skills, and sometimes it involves, people helping you, but whatever. Just the fact that this could happen, I was happy.
Yeah, no, for sure, and that's the solace I will take as a Derek fan. I like Ryan too, and so I'm glad he stayed. You know who was really disappointed was TJ.
TJ rudely being like, well, it was a shot in the dark, Ryan, but you got it.
Yeah, hey, you did it, even though you're obviously so much worse. He says Derek is obviously the strongest player on the rookies. It's going to be a really hard pill to swallow for them that they're losing their strongest player, obviously.
What is it about Ryan connecting with Derek's on the challenge?
Oh, interesting.
Spelled the same way.
That is true.
Crazy. Derek's gone. Emotional goodbye here with Paula. Paula's sad. He will not be returning to the house, returning back to her bed at nighttime for the nighttime snuggles. So we will see Derek again, back one more time 2 seasons from now. But if there's any more to him and Paula's story, then I don't know. I'll have to find out then, unless we find out at the reunion. I don't know.
I guess we'll see then. Yeah, okay. We'll get Derek back one more time. So at least there is that. But it's a wrap on 3 episodes of the Gauntlet 3.
Crazy. Let me check in, of course, on the confessional count real quick. Evan is at the top with 25 confessionals, followed by Frank with 24 confessionals. Nehemiah and Jillian at third place. Nehemiah is tied for third place with 19 confessionals. He had a lot in episode 1. Oh, wait, actually,
This is missing an episode.
It's missing an episode because we originally weren't going to watch it. Oops. But that's okay. It'll take me too long to
that's fair.
Switch back to
as of episode 4.
As of episode 4, that was the case. Evan definitely, though, again, getting a lot on this season, but they're all just him being a dick.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, and Katie, whether it's the episode 5 version or not, Katie is pretty definitively towards the bottom of the list.
Yeah, look, she's just not being highlighted here, unfortunately. So that does suck. Any season with not enough Katie Doyle is a bad season.
MJ actually tied with her at the bottom, and he's only been here for 2 episodes now. It's Big Easy, Eric, Big Easy, Katie, and MJ at the bottom. DM is pretty far down. That's noteworthy. DM hasn't been that involved.
That's where, like, we had DM on the Mount Rushmore, and I think that DM's history on the challenge is very important. But I don't think at this point in challenge history, like, she is a lock to be like the highlight for people.
I mean, granted, Coral and Beth to this point also quiet season so far, so it's not like crazy that DM is also having a quiet season, but it is pretty noticeable that after 2 big DM seasons, she's back for her 3rd here, and it's just like kind of crickets.
You can say quiet seasons for Coral, but she's 4th on the confessional board.
That is true.
So
yeah,
how quiet is she?
Truly at the top, it's Evan, then Frank, then Derek, then Coral, then Nehemiah and Ryan. So, and so on and so forth. Tori is a little farther down the list than I thought, but not too much farther down. She's at like number 8 or something like that. Frank, Jillian, both big characters. Yeah.
It's crazy that Zach had the 12th most confessionals on the season so far. like tied for 11th.
You get a big boost on your way out.
Apparently.
Yes. But also he had the same number in his exit episode than he did in the first episode. Crazy. Anything else for you from these 3 episodes?
No, I'm ready to jump into the next batch. Super fun. A little extended little episode here, but it was fun.
Yeah, I think the current plan is that the next recap of the next part will be just the next 2 episodes before we close out the season. So in case you're watching along with us, that's just some information for you to know. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Of course, find us over on Patreon, patreon.com/The Free Agents Podcast. If you are listening to this in real time, Challenge 42 names are imminent. May even be in your Twitter feed by the time that you are hearing this podcast. So we're going to be talking about it all as the season 42 cast sets out to film, plus all of the other bonus content that we have on Patreon with our early episodes going up there, ad-free, all that good stuff. Otherwise, you can find Scally on Twitch and Letterboxd and sometimes Blue Sky and sometimes Twitter and sometimes other places.
That's true.
Anything else?
I'll be guesting on Taskmaster with Grace this week, talking about the brand new movie Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which I highly recommend if it is playing near you.
Ooh, yeah. Jonathan gave it 5 stars.
I did too.
He said it was his, I guess by rating, it was his favorite of the year so far, which
same.
Short year, but all right. I hear good things.
It is a short year so far, but it's been good. So I recommend go see it.
But find me on the Diary Room podcast as we are 2 weeks away, 2 episodes away from the end of round 1, trying to find the best Big Brother player of all time. We are closing out the season of The Traitors over here on the Free Agents podcast. We are gearing up for House of Villains. We're gearing up for Survivor 50 coverage on the Patreon feed. So lots happening. Make sure you're locked in with us. Thank you all for checking out part 2 here of our Gauntlet 3 coverage. We'll be back for part 3 of the Gauntlet 3 next week. But until then, take care, and we hope to see you all in the future.